Welcome back to the Become Limitless podcast. This week we're going to talk about bullying and how to cope with it and how to find, a bit of a balance with it. I know a lot of people are going to have experiences when it comes to being bullied, being bullies, and all the different aspects that come with bullying. So this episode I want to talk about just covering what I mean by bullying, what bullying isn't, what bullying is, and then we can work towards that it applies to everybody. Everybody's going to have a certain aspect or a certain level of experience when it comes to bullying. And then we're going to go into what do we do when we talk about this conflict, this bullying, this conflict that happens when we are being bullied. And then we're going to go into some things that I've done from experience used to be redhead. So we're going to do some of the experience that I've had around it and how I created some tools to help myself cope with it and to better understand what's going on, and to also we're going to go over why someone's bullying as well, and then some little tricks we can do, strategies, let's call them strategies we can use, and strategies we can hand on to other people, our kids, if they're feeling that they are bullied. So I thought this is a very important topic because we need to get into what bullying is and what bullying isn't. So bullying, let's think about it. That's like a verbal thing. Someone's saying nasty things to you. They're just trying to make you feel bad. That's what I feel like bullying is, especially when it's online as well. Like there's a big thing right now is bullying online. Like you get typing away and people are just at you left, right, and centre if you do something, or they're berating you. Like you could almost say there's a type of bullying to negative comments that are put up online to any content or anything like that. Then there's obviously abuse. There's also assault and things like that, and that's not bullying. As soon as it turns physical, it's no longer bullying anymore. That is becoming assault, and that's why it's really important for you to teach your kids or yourself to understand that that's not acceptable. As soon as someone starts to do physical things to you, you can understand that it's not nice to be told or be yelled at or any of those things, because there is verbal abuse, they say that. But again, on that side of things, a verbal abuse, a verbal bullying is something that when we hear it, we take meaning from and then feel a certain way from that. Where physical abuse is something that happens when someone obviously physically hurts you, and that's not okay, never, and that should be dealt with straight away. Go to an authority figure. So if you're a kid, if you're a parent who's having trouble with their kids, make sure that's sorted out straight away. The kids have got to know that physical violence is not okay. Any of that physical side of things is not okay, and that needs to be sorted out straight away. So that's not bullying. Bullying for me is when kids tease you, kids are at you constantly, just words, just verbal diarrhea at you, and they don't let up. And if you don't have the coping mechanisms, if you don't have the strategies to address what's going on, it can feel like it's too much, and you can feel like you're alone, and you feel like no one's able to help you. Because if I talk to someone like my parents or something like that, they're not going to understand. Like, well, how would they understand if I talk to anybody, like to a teacher? They're not going to understand. They're just going to say, oh, don't worry about it. It's okay, just ignore it. It's alright. And sometimes it's not okay. It's not enough for you. It's not enough to give you enough to be able to go through this. And it happens because mind everywhere. And when we get onto why bullies bully, which is very shortly, it's very important that we understand that it's going to happen. It's always going to happen. We don't want to try this whole stopping bullying thing that's going on in the schools this day and age. We can try and think, I want the bullying to stop. We need a bullying to stop, and we're not going to try and teach our kids how to cope with it, because that's all well and good when the teacher's around. But as soon as the teacher disappears, as soon as anyone with a bit of authority disappears, These kids that are struggling are going to come out and they're going to be bullies. They're going to do their thing. Now we've got that clarified what bullying is and what bullying isn't. I want you to really remember that this applies to everybody as an adult as well, because there'll be certain levels of bullying in the workplace. There'll be certain levels of bullying in a relationship if you've got a bad relationship. And you need to address those things. You need to address them straight up. Because if you don't have those as a coping mechanisms, those strategies, then you're going to keep slowly going down. You're going to keep slowly feeling suppressed. You keep slowly feeling like you're being pushed into a shell where you can't be yourself. Because if you are, you're going to get bullied. You're going to get this rubbish that comes at you. You're going to get attacked verbally, not physically, verbally. So it's very important that we understand why someone would do this now. Wouldn't we? Like, we're going to get this awareness around why bullying is such a bad thing, and why it can be so bad for so many kids that do these amazing kids out there that don't feel like they have, or adults for that matter, they don't feel like they have, or young adults, they don't feel like they have an option because they've been trapped. They feel trapped. They feel like they can't get away from it. So it's very, very important they understand why. So we get awareness, and when awareness comes in, we get more power. And when we have power over the situation, we can choose to feel a certain way, to be a certain way. So why would someone bully? Let's put this thing. I believe that they normally have a bully of their own. They're being bullied, usually modeling behavior. From many years of experience, know that bullying is just, most of the time, the kids, young adults, young teenagers, they're bullying because they're so insecure about themselves as well. And they might not have the best upbringing. They might not have the best home life. They might not have a lot of different things. They might be jealous of you, your looks, how you are, who you are, your uniqueness. For me, being redhead, that's the only reason why people would ever bully you on your hair color, is because you're different. You're unique. And they feel like they're not unique. They're just another number in the crowd. So I do find that all these feelings, all this bullying that comes out, this verbal, where they go, geez, you're a redhead, you're angry, you're rah rah rah. You put meaning to that when you listen to it as well. But it's just a reflection of them and how insecure they feel. How they've got someone yelling those things at them, that they're not worth it, they're not good enough, all those things. And it really starts to change the way you see bullying. You see how it all works. The whole bullying mechanism works when you see that they just really are reflecting what they are inside. When you see that when they get angry at you or they start to yell things at you, that's just exactly what's going on inside them. That's how they feel inside. And they're expressing it in this way. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy for them. And that's what you find when they get older normally and they find themselves in a better position and a different environment. They're not being bullied themselves. They'll feel regretful for the bullying they did. And it takes a lot as a person that's being bullied not to then take that and then bully someone else. To do something that doesn't really reflect who you are, but is to make you feel better because you're stuck. This bullying is going on. These people are really getting at you. So you can see how if I don't feel good, I'm going to do something to make someone else feel good, to make me feel good. That's how a bully thinks. Now, I never bullied because I was always bullied a lot. And I didn't bully because I didn't want anyone feeling the way I did. That's how my thought process was in the matter. But I've talked to a fair few people about why they did bully. It was just because they wanted to feel better about themselves. They didn't want to feel, or They felt powerful. They didn't have any power, so they lost their power to someone. Whether a circumstance or a situation happened to them, whether they just didn't feel like they were in control of their life, and they felt like when they did that, they felt powerful over someone. They felt in control over someone, where they didn't have that control. So now that you get this picture of what a bully is and why they are a bully and how come they do these certain things, it gives you an observer level. Like, you can bring yourself out of a situation. You can really start to focus on, okay, they're saying these things. Why are they doing this? What's the reasoning behind it? And as soon as you start to pull yourself out of a situation like that, then you become really powerful, because you're not going to react. Reactions are what happens automatically from us, isn't it? And that'll allow you to then choose to respond the way that you want to respond. And this is all starting to become things that you can do whilst being bullied or in that conflict mode. Now, when we're in conflict, we can start to control our emotions, like we talk about in many episodes before this, how controlling your emotion, controlling the situation, taking yourself out into that observer mode, like you're looking over what's actually going on. You're looking at yourself, you're looking at the bully, and then you're really, really focusing on, okay, do I want to let those words hurt me? And so really, it's very important that's not physical. It's a verbal bullying. And when you do that, you can go, okay, I don't want to feel like a victim. I don't want to feel powerless. I'm not going to let their words hurt me. I'm not going to let them happen. Just don't let them have the power. Don't let those words have the power. Because it was really, really good what I shared a couple of weeks ago on Instagram and Facebook of, I can't remember her name, the actress, but she says she can swear at you in a different, like, Spanish. And if you don't know Spanish, she can swear, she can yell at you like crazy in that language. And there's no meaning towards it because you don't understand the language she's telling you, you're speaking. So therefore you don't feel the word, the hurt, because you don't understand the language. It's only when you give it meaning, it's only when you give the words power, that they're allowed to have power over you. So don't let those words, don't let those bullies don't give them the power. Don't do it. Don't let those words hurt you. As much as they may be horrible things, don't let them hurt you. Be the water off the duck's back. Allow that you to be the duck, that water being those words just running off your back. Nope, I'm going to be me. I'm going to do what I do. That's very hard for someone that's in a teens to understand, to even comprehend. So if you're trying to get that to a teenager, to your kids, it's very hard for them to understand that, because they can only see judgment and being part of the social group, and that whole transition from being your parents being your peer group to your friends being your peer group, and start to blend into that. And they can't, and they really don't want to see this whole, if I'm being bullied, it's because I'm not being the person that I need to be to fit in. No. That's not how it works. And that's how they look at it, as an acceptance thing. If I do the bully says, or I start to be a certain way because the bully's giving me trouble, then I'll start to fit in with this group, fit in this culture, this whatever's going on in front of them. This what do they want to be belonging to? Because it's the part of what's going on with those teenagers. So it's really important that when these conflicts happen, that we take a step back out of the person. I want to say it again and again and again. Control the emotional response. Where they're going to, when they start saying nasty things to us, not let them hurt you, not let the words even touch you. Just sit there and smile. And yep, okay, no worries. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the information. Thank you for whatever it was. I'll take that on board. Thank you. And you diffuse the situation. And this is from experience that I've gone through. that just doing that, they want to escalate. They want to get a response. They want to feel in power. They want to feel on top of you. And if they're not feeling here on top of you, and you're going, oh, thank you, you're in control of how you feel. Because as soon as they start to bully, they want to see you drop down. They want to see you react. They want to see that they're in control of how you're responding. And by being able to take that step back, take that breath, observe what's going on, you're going to be in control of how you feel and how you are acting. And when you're able to do that, the bully loses their power of what they want to do. What they're there to achieve is to feel like they're in control, feel like they have that power as well, feel like they have all these circumstances happening to them are being put onto you. You feel like rubbish. All their insecurities that they're carrying, they're not being pushed onto you. You have control then. And that awareness to take a breath and then to thank or to, yeah, okay, excellent, I acknowledge that, thank you, really diffuse the situation. They can't go any further verbally. This is where it starts to get, like, they can get violent or they can get physical. And that's when it's not okay. Then that needs to be addressed. Like, why are they getting physical? Why are they getting violent? Most times the bullies are just like, oh yeah, whatever. They're not getting the rise. And it's crazy because it starts with your kids. I notice with mine playing that if you could just diffuse the situation by just going, oh, thank you, with your sibling that's getting angry, 9 times out of 10 they're like, what's going on? Why are you, right? This is not the way you're supposed to react. And a bully would be the exact same way. And that's what I found when I was being bullied, that if I would just go, oh, cheers, thank you, no worries, and I'll try to be as sincere with the apology as possible, try to be not sarcastic, not narky when I say, oh, thank you, or any of that, really measuring my tone, really measuring, and that came from a lot of trial and error too, but really being sincere in the way that I did my apology. Oh, sorry, my apology, my thank you, and my, oh, cheers, thanks for the advice. I'll take that on board. Geez, you're a ranger. No worries, yeah, it's pretty good hair, isn't it? And just smile and go with it like it just didn't worry me at all, it didn't faze me. And then you'll start to see a glimpse of the insecure person behind that bullying. The person that then doesn't have any power over you. Because ultimately that's what they want to do. They want to have power over you. Alright, so now they want to have power. And one of the most important things you can do so that you don't get these things bottled up inside you is to talk to somebody. Talk to somebody that you really know that's going to listen. Talk to somebody that makes you feel that you're not alone, that you aren't alone. If it's a friend, if it's a parent, if it's a teacher, if it's a special someone, you know who they are. Go talk to them. Really engage with them. Really tell them exactly how you're feeling. Because, again, as you say things, as you bring things out, as you talk about things, it makes it 10 times, like, it takes away the power inside you. If it sits there inside you, it can be way worse. It can make it really feel like everything's 10 times worse than what it really is. And as soon as you start to verbalize it towards someone, your worries start to drop away. Your imagination stops doing crazy things. And you can really feel like it takes the power away from whatever's going on in your head. So it's really important that we start to do these things. So let's go over some strategies, some coping mechanisms. First thing is, you got to take yourself out of the situation. You got to start to become the observer of what is actually going on. This person's feeling powerful. They're feeling really cool because they're bullying me. Okay, why would they be bullying me? Do they feel that insecure about themselves? Remember, whatever they're saying is just a reflection of what's going on inside them. It doesn't have anything to do with you. Why would it have anything to do with you? I'm not teasing you about a physical appearance, your physical appearance. You might be overweight, you might be redheaded, you might be, I don't know, you might have warts somewhere, you might have a mole somewhere, you might be different, you might even be the smartest, coolest, prettiest person, the most handsome dude, and they'll still bully you because then they're jealous. They want to be like you. So it's not just the people that don't fit in, like me as the redhead. It's also the really smart, the really athletic, the ones that try hard, the ones that put in, they get bullied too. And it's because of the other person. It's nothing to do with the person being bullied. It's about the person doing the bullying and how insecure they feel about themselves. So remove yourself from the situation. Become that observer. Start to control your emotions. Then, don't let the words hurt you. Don't let them have the power. You have the power. Control that reaction to what's going on. You're going to respond, not react. Okay? And remember, that's just a reflection of who they are when they start yelling these words. They start yelling these nasty things about you, supposedly. But if you start to see it as, if they're yelling these things, it's really just a reflection of how they feel inside themselves, of how they are. And once you start to understand that, you can really start to diffuse the situation. Because then you can go, thank you. Or you can even ask the person, are you okay? Is everything alright? Just in case. They might break down in front of you right then and there, and you might be able to help them cope with whatever's going on. They might just almost explode because they realise you're seeing straight through my facade. And I've had that happen as well. Like, are you alright, dude? And he's just like, what? And he couldn't understand what just happened because he went from just like crazy going off at me to me asking if he's okay, because I could see there was something worrying and troubling him, and he just broke down. And now we're really good friends now too. So it's really important that we understand that that's how the bullies are working. That's how what's going on. They're not necessarily bad people. They just can't cope with what's going on in their world, and they're trying to make themselves feel better. And make sure, if you are struggling, if anything's happening, talk to somebody. There's counselling. There's lots and lots and lots of places you can talk. There's no reason for you not to talk. There's no excuse for you not to talk. Don't keep it inside. Talk to a sibling. Talk to a parent. If you're struggling that much, you're probably not going to talk to a parent. I'm not sure why. See, I didn't talk to my parents about any of this either, but I worked it out myself too. And even if it's just, if you want to send me a message and say, this is what's happening, I can help you. Or if it's in the workplace and you're struggling in the workplace and someone's bullying you in the workplace, talk to another work colleague. Talk to a friend you've got at work. Talk to your spouse, your husband, your partner, whatever your significant other is, whoever your significant other is. Talk to them. Find out what's going on inside yourself. Because when you start to talk about out loud, it starts to lose its power. So make sure you talk to somebody. Really, really wanted to say that again. Make sure you talk to somebody. Now, I hope you got something out of this episode. It has gone a little bit longer than normal, but it's a very important topic. Now we talk about these things and we really give people the power to take control over these situations. And I hope that this will help many, many people. I hope that this gets shared around as many, many times as it does. And I hope you all have a fantastic week. Until next time, stay limitless.